All right, let's get started. Yeah, okay, yes, John, keep the camera on so that I know who's talking in the boardroom. We're gonna get started right now. We have quorum, so let's get right on into it. Also to everyone, obviously we've had a technical difficulty with Zoom, so for the sake of keeping meeting minutes efficiently and in order and simplistic as possible, please keep conversations and debate today brief and conducive to everyone's time. All right, let's get on right into it. I'm going to call this first SPOC meeting to order at 1:14 p.m. But before we begin, we're going to start off with a territorial land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Katzie First Nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we are currently situated on occupied territories. I'd also like everyone to take time this week to reflect on how you can be an ally and an accomplice to the Indigenous communities that you are settled in, being that it is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation tomorrow. Wear orange where you can, show your support where you can. We're now going to go over to the roll call of attendance. I'm going to go down in order as presented on the agenda today. When I call on your position, please state your name, your pronouns, and if you have any access needs that need to be met. Let's start off with the VP Finance and Services.
Hey everyone, my name is Abby. He, him pronouns in terms of access needs. I'm just in a very unstable Wi-Fi environment, so please pardon me and let me know if I repeat myself at all.
All right, thank you, Abby. We're now going to go over to myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Helen. My pronouns are she, her. All my access needs are met. I'm keeping my camera off today, however, because I have an unrelenting headache. So my apologies if I sound like I'm in pain while chairing this meeting. Over to our FCAPSU counselor.
Hello, my name is Rasco, he, him pronouns. For access needs, I am also in a very unstable Wi-Fi environment. So my microphone and stuff may be glitching a bit. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Roscoe. Over to philosophy counselor.
Hi, my name is Ashley, they, she, V pronouns. As far as access needs are concerned, my Wi-Fi is Wi-Fiing, so if you cut out, I might have to ask you to repeat yourself. Other than that, I'm all good.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Let's go over to our society staff that we have in the room today. Let's go over to our building manager.
Hi all, John here, and building manager. Pronouns are he and his, and all my access needs are met.
Wonderful, thank you, John. I invite our building coordinator, Jenny, to do an introduction as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. My pronouns are she and her, and all my access needs are also met.
Perfect, great to hear. Shelly, since you're in the room, I'd like you to have an introduction as well.
Shelly, she, her pronouns. I'm access needs. I'm working from home today. Camera off because I'm sick.
That is a mood. Totally relatable. And over to our admin assistant.
Hi everyone, my name is Fanny. Pronouns are she, her, and all my access needs are met.
All right, thank you very much. I know we have guests listed on the attendance here before the record. Fanny, let's make sure we strike that off, since we don't have any guests joining today other than Shelly.
For clarification, yeah, I was just going to ask if Shelly would be one of the guests instead of like society staff.
Perfect. That is great. Thank you, Fanny. Okay, let's now go over to the next item on the agenda. It's the consent agenda. We had matters arising from the minutes, as you can see, for SPOC from this year for 2022. So that was back in April. The motion reads, be it resolved to adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. I'm just going to do that right here, right now. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function in Zoom. Seeing none, the consent agenda is carried. We're now going to go over to the adoption of the agenda. The motion reads, be it resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. I will move this motion. May someone second this, please?
FCAT.
FCAT seconds. I'm going to open the floor for discussion. Okay, seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function in Zoom. Seeing none, the adoption of the agenda is carried as presented. All right, let's go over to new business here. We have a few items, so let's see how quickly and efficiently we can blitz right through it. First item on new business is appointment of chair. The motion reads, whereas the Space Oversight Committee does not have a designated chair in policy. Whereas the terms of reference states that an executive officer is meant to chair SPOC, be resolved to appoint Executive X as the chair of SPOC for the 2022-2023 council year. I will move this motion. May someone second this?
FCAT.
FCAT seconds. I'm going to open the floor for discussion now. If any executive here wants to run, if any executive here wants to run for the chair of SPOC, please list yourself using the chat. Okay, I'll accept a raised hand. Abby, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. I'd like to nominate myself.
All right. Thank you. And I definitely will not be nominating myself whatsoever, so this is definitely an uncontested election. I'm going to move to amend this motion by striking Executive X and replacing it with Abhishek Parmar as chair of the SPOC for the 2022-2023 council year. May I have someone second this amendment?
FCAT.
FCAT seconds. All right, you know what? I'm going to give it to philosophy. Let's give it to Ashley. I'm going to open the floor for discussion on the amendment. Seeing none, we'll take the amendment to a vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent here. Seeking unanimous consent, if you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function in Zoom or Google Meet. I keep saying Zoom. My apologies, folks. Seeing none, the amendment is carried. We're now going to take it back to the original motion. No discussion here for sure, so let's go take it to a vote. Seeking unanimous consent, if you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function in Google Meet. All right, seeing none, the motion is carried as amended. Abby, congrats, you are now officially the chair of SPOC. Round of applause, round of applause. Amazing. Let's go over to the next item under new business, which is the appointment of a vice chair. The motion reads, be it resolved to appoint Councillor Y as the vice chair of SPOC for the 2022-2023 council year. Would anyone like to move this?
FCAT.
FCAT moves, and anyone to second?
VP Finance.
Okay, VP Finance seconds. Let's open the floor for discussion. Okay, Roscoe, your hand is raised.
I would like to nominate myself.
All right. Ashley, you're next on the list. Ashley, you're next.
Hi, I'd like to nominate myself.
All right.
Vice Chair.
Is there any more lists coming up? No, I don't think so. Okay, so being that there is only one seat available for vice chair of SPOC, this is going to be a contested election. I am going to give every single candidate 1 minute max to pitch themselves as to why they would be the best fit for vice chair of the SPOC committee, and you will go in order of the candidates. When I call on your name, you will have 1 minute exactly to pitch to us, pitch to the committee why you'd be the best fit for this position. So we'll start off with Roscoe. Roscoe, you have 1 minute starting now.
Hi, thank you everyone. So I'm running for this position because I have strong knowledge of Robert's rules, and I'm really passionate about the work of the Space Oversight Committee, because I truly believe that the student union building is our greatest asset. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Roscoe. Ashley, it is your turn. You are up next. You have 1 minute to pitch yourself, starting now.
Pretty sure we're non-voting.
All right, excellent. I want to be vice chair because I like space. I don't know, I think it's a cool opportunity to be able to vice chair and to expand my knowledge and to apply my own unique perspective to this committee, and to just ensure that it's called on time so we can do all the cool work that SPOC is going to do. Because I have thoughts and I really like to see work get done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. All right. Now that the candidates have pitched themselves on how they feel they would be best fit as vice chair, I am now going to get everyone to take a vote on who they would like to have as vice chair for the committee. Being that this is a small composition today, I'm just going to call on everyone with roll call vote, and you can say out loud who you would vote for as vice chair of the committee. So I'll start off with the roll call of attendance. To our VP Finances and Services, how do you vote?
I'm gonna vote Ashley.
All right. Over to myself, I am voting in favor for Ashley Flett. Roscoe, how do you vote?
Myself.
All right. Ashley, how do you vote?
I vote myself.
All right. So tallying the votes, that is 3 votes for Ashley and 1 vote for Roscoe. Taking it by majority, Ashley, you are now going to be appointed as the vice chair of the SPOC committee. So let's go ahead and amend this motion. I'm going to move to amend the motion to strike Councillor Y with Ashley Flett and strike chair and replace that with vice chair. So the motion would read, be it resolved to appoint Ashley Flett as the vice chair of SPOC for the 2022-2023 council year. Can I have someone second this amendment?
Philosophy?
VP Finance.
I saw the difficulty there, Abby, but I'm going to give it to Ashley, or to philosophy. So that is seconded. We're going to take the amendment to a vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent here. Seeking unanimous consent, if you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function in Google Meet. Seeing none, the amendment is carried. We're now going to take it back to the motion. I'm not going to ask for any more discussion on this, so let's go for a vote. Seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function. All right, seeing none, this motion is carried as amended. Ashley, congrats. You're now the vice chair of SPOC. Amazing. Let's now head over to the next item on the agenda. We still have 3 motions to get through, so let's go. Next item on the agenda is installation of blinds for society spaces. It was brought forward by our VP Finance and Services. The motion reads, whereas exec approved up to $3,000 for blinds to be installed for room sub 4128, one of the executive offices, whereas could benefit rooms like sub 3115, 33.1, and 33.31 to help their use of meeting rooms. My apologies, the grammar of this motion is worded very interestingly. Whereas the rest of the exec offices should be given the option to receive blinds to match those being put on room 4128, be it resolved to approve up to $10,000 from a line item to be determined by the VP Finance for the purchasing of curtains for society spaces. I will move this motion. May someone second this, please?
VP Finance.
VP Finance seconds. I'm going to open the floor for discussion. Abby, you have the floor.
Yeah, so this is a group of motions that are all general space improvements or space necessities. John, if you could speak to it a little bit yourself, that'd be wonderful. But just for a little context, the first half, we already approved up to $3,000 at executive to put blinds on Nikki's office. So this is just essentially fulfilling the other spaces to match that same expenditure lines and match the kind of standard.
All right, thank you, Abby. John, you have the floor.
Yeah, just to give a little bit more detail and context around this one. So We have got pricing for numerous locations around the building, so all of the executive offices, so there's 6 offices on the 4th floor. And the room that we're currently in at the moment, because we've retrofitted video conferencing into this, and there's some meetings and oversight meetings and different things that happen in this space, so we could definitely do with having blinds around all the glass here, because it is a glass box. We've one back office in the administrative suite that has a large window that overlooks onto a balcony that's in use as well, so we need blinds there. And then we also need blinds in the back of the student centre office. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 locations in total. And one location has already been approved, that's office 4128. So the remainder of this would just be $7,000, because it's 10,000 in total and 3,000 has already been approved for 4128. So this is something that was kind of missed during the capital project, so I would recommend that we do go ahead and put blinds in these places. But we only need a total of 7,000 because 3,000 has already been approved at executive level.
All right, thank you, John. Does anyone else? Okay, Abby, you have the floor again.
I'll ask you a question then, John. Should we amend the item then to reduce it to $7,000, or do you think it's fine as is?
John, you have a direct response?
Yeah, so just in relation to that, I think it's fine because it says upwards. So in the interest of time, if we pass the motion as it is, and it will only be $10,000 in total, it's just 3 has already been previously approved at executive. So it's upwards, it doesn't mean we need to do the whole amount. So I think the motion is fine as is, and we'll just do as needed.
All right, perfect. Any more discussion on this before we take it to a vote? Okay. Well, it seems like we have exhausted the speakers list, so let's go right ahead and take this straight to a vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent here. Seeking unanimous consent, if you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function. Seeing none, this motion is carried. All right, let's go over to the next item on the agenda. It is update to internal wayfinding signage. The motion reads, whereas the student union building, sub, can be difficult to navigate for students and guests, whereas new services are opening up in the sub, be it resolved to approve up to $3,000 from a line item to be determined by the VP Finance to fund the updating of internal wayfinding signage. I'll move this motion. May someone second this, please?
FCAT.
FCAT seconds. I'm going to open the floor for discussion here. Abby, I'll give you speaking priority since you brought this motion to the table.
I'd actually defer to John on this one, if that's okay.
Okay. John, it's yours.
All right, perfect. If I can share my screen, I will just super quickly. Just it's easier for people to know exactly what we're talking about if I can.
Okay, I think you should be able to. There's a little button at the bottom that says present now.
Yeah, so I'll just do it this way.
You can do present screen, present a window.
Yeah, it's just not popping up. Yeah, for some reason it won't let me show a Word document at the moment.
Can you just open it? And then click on...
John, do you have the Word document open?
Yeah.
Can you click on Google
Is
Home?
it...
I have to minimize it still.
No, don't minimize it.
Yeah, I have to.
No.
It's fine, don't worry about it. So,
No.
just in the interest of time, so effectively what this is around is the directories in the Student Union building. So I'll send an email to you afterwards. So on each floor, there's 2 on the 5th floor, there's 1 on 1 to 4. You'll see these directories that list what services are on each floor. And we got a request back during the summer to update it to reflect the spaces on level 1000. So some of the names that were put on it previously were incorrect, so they'd like them to be updated. And then we also don't have things like the music rooms and other things like that listed. So this money would go towards updating the internal wayfinding signage. So literally it is just for the internal directories that you'll see around the building. It's just we've been waiting a long time to do it because it hasn't had a chance to come to SPOC. So it should be no more than $3,000 to do all of it, and we'd be updating mainly level 1000 on the directories.
All right. That is no problem at all. Do we have any more discussion on this before we take it to a vote?
It's a waste of time. We're like it's 1:33.
I'm going to assume none. So let's get this right and done and out of the way. I'm going to seek unanimous consent here. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function in Zoom.
I'll be able to
All right,
share
see,
the
none, motion
other
is
ones.
carried.
It's just because it was Word, it wouldn't come up.
Let's now go over to equipment to be used for meetings and events, again submitted by the VP Finance and Services. The motion reads, whereas renting equipment from SFU can be very costly over the long term and potentially unreliable, whereas the SFSS having equipment will allow for greater flexibility in helping events to function. Be resolved to approve up to $10,000 from a line item to be determined by the VP Finance for purchasing of equipment to assist in facilitating meetings and events. May I have a mover for this motion?
VP Finance.
All right, and someone to second?
FCAT?
FCAT seconds. Let's open the floor for discussion here. Abby, you have the floor.
I'm sure John can speak more to this, but just in general on the finance side, having our own equipment to essentially help with events, help with the work we do as the SFSS. Having our own equipment is more reliable than having to rent from SFU. Also having our own equipment allows us to save money on rental fees, so over a long period of time, we'll be saving money by having this equipment in-house, whether it's, I know John can go into the specifics, but I believe like TVs, speakers that are available are a couple of the things that we'll be looking to purchase.
Okay, thank you, Abby. John, you have the floor.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to share this list here to give people an idea. So effectively, at the moment, any of our AV that we need, we do rent in through like MECs and different areas like that too, and we are trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. We've ran into some kind of barriers with certain events where their staff only work to a certain time on campus, and then there's issues with them leaving their equipment overnight because it's not technically an SFU space. And that aligned with the fact that we do pay hourly for any of the equipment that we bring in. It just makes way more sense given the fact that we do have a space expansion fund for things like this, and we do now have the space to store it and the staff to actually facilitate the use of this, that we try and do as much in-house as possible. So we've been looking at like getting TVs on rolling stands. So we've lists here of all these different types of TVs. We've looked at what would be the best for the uses that are needed. We have the rolling stands, we have portable projectors, and then we also have portable speakers. So we will be upwards to $10,000 because we will try and push that as much as we can and get the best value for our money, but we'll update Spock on exactly what purchases are being made so everyone's aware of the exact details. But I'll share this list with everybody as well. But what we're looking at is TVs, rolling stands, portable projectors, portable speakers, microphones, and then things like HDMI splitters that allow for like 2 TVs to be used at once at the same time. And then you'll notice in the wording of this motion, it's for like our event support rather than for the building, because we would like to make sure down the line if it needed to be used somewhere, we could use it somewhere else. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Thank you, John. And I just want to comment, it's a very mundane comment, but I've never seen heart-shaped bullet points before. And I think it's absolutely, adorable. So yeah, I just had to put that out there. But okay, any other conversation on this matter before we take it to a vote? Okay, seeing none, let's go ahead and take this straight to a vote. Seeking unanimous consent, if you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function in Zoom. It's Google Meet, not Zoom. Seeing none, this motion is carried. Ross Glass, is that comment going to be on the meeting minutes? Fanny, please do not incorporate that in the meeting minutes. All right, let's now go over to discussion items. We have 3 discussion items, and just so the committee knows, we have about 22 minutes left until we adjourn this meeting, so let's get right on into it. First discussion item is sub-balconies submitted by our FCATSU counselor. Roscoe, you have speaking priority.
Hi, so thank you for letting me speak. Basically, as you all might be aware, there's balconies on the 4th and 5th floor that are currently locked. And what I've heard from a lot of students, and they've come to me, both my role as a council member of the SFSS, and also just as, a fellow student, they've been telling me, oh, you're on the SFSS council, how come the balconies aren't open during the good weather? So I thought I would bring this discussion right here to Spock, which deals with this,
Those are exits.
to get an answer.
John, you have a direct response.
Yeah, we can probably talk about this more in detail at the next meeting, but the reason behind it is that we don't have any furnishing for those areas. There was furnishing included in the capital project. I can't get too much into the detail of that, but I can say that at the moment that's tied up, like that hasn't been closed out yet, and it was meant to be provided, and we're pushing to get it provided. And the second we have furniture, they'll be open. But it wouldn't make sense for us to go out and buy our own furniture now when we've actually already paid for it. So we're trying to make sure that we get what we paid for, and then once we have the furniture, the spaces will be opened up in good weather.
Okay, Roscoe, you have a direct response?
So basically, what you're saying is that we're waiting for some furniture that we're supposed to get, but we didn't get yet as part of the sub-building construction.
Go for it, John.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Roscoe, this is a clarifying question. I'll allow it, but we will need to move on as soon as we can. So please keep it brief.
Okay, I'm just going to say thank you. We can put this in a discussion item on the next meeting as well.
All right. Thank you. I think we've exhausted discussion on this item, so let's go over to the next discussion item. It is SPOC TOR review. For those of you who don't know, TOR stands for Terms of Reference, submitted by Abby. So Abby, you have speaking priority and you have the floor.
Hi, Helen. I'm actually going to move to postpone this until next meeting because I don't have good Wi-Fi and I don't want to try to share this and then read and all at the same time.
Okay.
So I'm going to postpone it to next meeting. Move to postpone until next meeting.
Okay, Abby has moved to postpone this discussion item to the next. All right, lots of seconds. Yeah, opening the floor for discussion in terms of postponing this to next meeting. Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent here. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function. All right, seeing none, the motion to postpone this discussion item to the next SPOC meeting is carried. And last on our discussion items list is Autonopia, robotic project, also submitted by our VP Finance. Abby, if you have the capacity, I give the floor over to you.
Thank you, Helen. I'd like to defer to John on this last.
Okay, John, you have the floor.
Thanks, Helen. So I'm just going to share my screen really quickly here because this will actually work this time around. So we're involved in a project. It's with a company called Autonopia, and we're going to trial out robotic cleaning of the windows. So it'll just be like a 2 or 3 day trial to see how it goes and if it works and if it doesn't work. And if it is something that's positive and works well, it might be used elsewhere around the campus. But just to give people an idea of what will be happening, on Monday I'm actually going to meet this crowd and we're going to go up on the roof and do the rigging that's attached to it. So we're going to have to put like a rigger just around the perimeter of the red line that you see at the top here on the screen. And then they'll actually be putting a robot over the edge of the building that will be secured to the glass, and then it will move in a linear motion across. And then down here below you'll see that there'll be a bit of a control zone just underneath it, and that will have where people won't be able to walk through, but it will only be for 2 or 3 days. And we will be doing the kind of site work on Monday and looking at this and the rigging, but nothing will actually be happening for about 2 weeks just because of convocation and certain events in the ballroom and things like that. But we will keep people updated as that progresses. But it was just because SPOC is specific for space oversight to let people know that it is something we're going to trial, see how it goes, and if I have any more updates, I'll pass them to the SPOC mailing list as well. That's all.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, John. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I'm seeing none. So that's it then. That's it for our discussion items, and we'll hear updates from John and the rest of the committee whenever it is called next. So let's just go right ahead and adjourn this SPOC meeting. So I am going to adjourn this meeting at 1:44 p.m. The motion will read, be it resolved to adjourn the meeting at 1:44 p.m. I will move this motion. May someone second this, please?
FCAT.
FCAT.
Finance.
I'm giving it to FCAT. I'm going to open the floor for discussion. Seeing none, we'll take it to a vote. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please do so by using the raise hand function. Seeing none, the motion to adjourn is carried. Thank you all so much for attending SPOC today and for being very quick with the changes in the tech. Hopefully next time it'll be on Zoom. And you all will be hearing from either Abby or Ashley on what the next steps are. So thank you all so much.
Thanks.